Southern New England's trusted news source, ABC6 News at Noon.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Patriots news to start us off today, and no update from Coach Bill Belichick on Mac Jones' injury. Coach, in his press conference this morning, saying he's not going to, quote, speculate wildly on what it would or wouldn't be. Although ESPN is reporting it is a high ankle sprain. Jones said to undergo an MRI at some point today after going down on this play at the end of yesterday's game, a loss against the Ravens. Jones hopped off the field, went straight to the locker room. Jones is expected to give us an update today. Our ABC6 sports team is on it. They'll be providing updates both on air and online. And now we turn to the weather as we take a live look outside this afternoon with our Skycam. It is an absolutely gorgeous September afternoon. Chelsea is standing by with our first forecast. Hi, Chelsea.
Hey, Doreen. Yeah, we're looking at a nice bright day across southern New England. Some clouds passing through the area, but overall things are dry here in southern New England. We had some rain and thunderstorms coming through overnight, but by early this morning, things were completely dried up. And right now we're looking at temperatures in the upper 60s, breeze out of the southwest around 10 miles per hour. Gives us a little bit of a muggy feel, but overall it's not too humid outside today. It should be a really nice afternoon. Upper 60s and low 70s in most locations. You're looking at a change from yesterday, up a couple of degrees, but very similar to yesterday afternoon. Again, plenty of sunshine outside, just a few of those passing fair weather clouds. There is the outside chance of an isolated shower coming through the area later this evening. For the most part, though, we'll stay partly clear overnight and into early tomorrow morning. Tomorrow looks very similar to today. I'll have a look at your full forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Doreen?
All right, Chelsea, thank you. Now to new details this noontime as Providence police are looking for a man who's accused of driving his car into the water at the Gano Street boat ramp with a woman inside. The two reportedly on a date after meeting on a dating website when she says he accelerated into the water. She got out of the passenger side door and swam to safety. He took off. She's expected to be okay. Some proposed raises, big raises for some of the top state employees, highlighting an early rift between the two candidates for Rhode Island governor. The Republican showing up at a public hearing today to question the governor's leadership. ABC6 News reporter Yanni Trigelis is live at the State House with the changes the governor is making to his salary bump plan. Yanni.
Hi, Doreen. Yeah, the Department of Administration wrapping up a short time ago where we heard public comment and testimony after last week. The governor proposed salary increases to 13 cabinet members to receive tens of thousands of dollars of pay boosts coming up soon. And today at that hearing, the governor did submit adjusted pay boosts for those employees. After proposing increased salaries for state cabinet heads last week, with some as much as $60,000 more per year, Governor Dan McKee Monday amending that request in a public hearing by the Department of Administration, changing his plans for boosted salaries from 13 directors all getting a minimum of $15,000 raises per year to 11 directors, all of those receiving less than a $25,000 increase. A representative for McKee reading written testimony from the governor saying they misunderstood salary layouts.
In order to attract the best possible leaders for Rhode Island, we need to evaluate salaries as the market and the needs of our residents change. When I first reviewed the proposed increases for the 13 cabinet positions presented today, I understood the suggested salaries as the tops of their respective ranges. However, it is now my understanding that, by statute, the proposals represent flat rates and not salary caps.
Several members of the public tuning in over Zoom, with a few also attending in person. Among the crowd included Governor McKee's Republican challenger in the November election, Ashley Kalis, calling him out on these proposed increases.
I'm here today to speak about the fact that these raises are out of touch, that the governor is incompetent. He did not know what he was doing when he was doing so, and only today he comes in and admits that to the public. We deserve better.
Under the governor's newest proposal, directors of behavioral health care and development disabilities and hospitals, business regulation, human services, and environmental management would all receive the biggest pay increases of just under $25,000 a year. And if approved, these salary increases will go into effect in 30 days.
This has been a long-standing problem, so I commend the administration for trying to tackle the top end from the top of how do we recruit and deliver services in an effective and efficient way, and that really starts with the top.
And the DOA does tell us that they can make any amendments to this proposal and still approve it. They tell us that in order for it to be rejected, the House and Senate, they have 30 days to make that decision to reject this proposal, or else it will go into effect in the next month. We're live in Providence. Yanni Trigelis, ABC6 News.
Yanni, thank you. And new at noon today, a big day for those who use the East Bay bike path as officials break ground to repair 2 bridges that have been off limits for years. ABC6 News reporter Natalie Norrie has more.
This is the detour in front of one of the 2 bridges that have been closed on the East Bay bike path since 2019 because of its aging conditions. But a groundbreaking to repair them begins today, which has many locals excited to get back out on the trail. Some of the most scenic parts of the 13.8-mile path have been closed for years because of safety concerns. Detours were placed on the street along Route 114 to get around, but it has caused people to think twice about using the path because of their concerns. We spoke to some riders today, many who are encouraged to hear the path will be restored.
With the detours, there were a couple of, you did have to go on the road, and I don't like to ride on the road anymore. I used to do a lot on the road, but nobody's paying attention anymore, so the less I have to go on the road, even to cross intersections or to go around a detour, the better for me.
$24 million have since been approved to repair these sections of the trail. Senators Reid and Whitehouse, along with Governor McKee, were here to celebrate the groundbreaking at Police Point Park in Barrington. The 2 bridges that cross over the Barrington and Palmer Rivers are expected to be complete by the end of 2025. For now, reporting in Barrington, Natalie Norrie, ABC6 News.
Natalie, thank you. And a Coventry man charged with DUI after crashing into a store at a plaza in Warwick. Warwick police say 68-year-old Kenneth Savard was under the influence when he crashed his car into a Wild Birds Unlimited store Saturday night. Police say Savard was taken to Rhode Island Hospital with minor injuries. He will appear in court at a later date. And coronavirus news today, Pfizer and BioNTech have submitted to the FDA for an emergency use authorization for a COVID booster for kids. The request is for an updated booster shot for 5 to 11-year-olds. Officials say this shot focuses on strains that were part of the original vaccine and new variants. The 10-milligram dose of Pfizer's bivalent vaccine is already authorized for people 12 and older. Moderna also filed for authorization of its latest booster for children as young as 6. And still to come here on ABC6 News at noon, Hurricane Ian ramps up speed as models suggest it may target parts of Florida as a 100-plus mile-per-hour hurricane. The latest on its track and the preparations. And later, the historic crash mission from NASA that's expected to launch today and how it'll change outer space and space exploration. Now to Hurricane Ian and the rush in Florida to prepare. Residents stocking up on water, generators, and other supplies as Ian continues to strengthen, roaring across Cuba before setting out towards Florida's coast. ABC's Morgan Norwood is there and has more on the expected impact.
This afternoon, Ian swelling to hurricane status and charging toward Cuba with the potential to become a major hurricane as soon as today. Residents in Florida keeping a cautious eye. Governor Ron DeSantis declaring a state of emergency for the entire state.
Floridians up and down the Gulf Coast should feel the impacts of this as up to 36 hours before actual landfall due to the size of the hurricane.
Many wasting no time gathering supplies and making preparations.
Just make sure I'm self-sufficient for a while because I know electricity is going to go out. And I'll be fine.
Though forecasters are unsure where exactly Ian will make landfall, all agree the storm will lash large sections of the state with heavy rains, whipping winds, and fierce flooding. ABC's Rob Marciano explains.
This is Tampa Bay, a massive body of water that spans 30 miles to the Gulf of Mexico. Only 11 feet deep. With the right wind, that water gets pushed up the bay, piling up until it reaches downtown and has nowhere else to go, flooding the core of the city.
And it's why homeowners are boarding up and why Jose Lugo is filling sandbags. He just helped his parents prepare in Puerto Rico for Hurricane Fiona, and now he's doing the same for Ian.
And now I'm here, helping myself and everybody else that I can.
And while Floridians look to shield themselves from Ian's impact, Canadians are still reeling in the wake of Fiona's fury. Hundreds of thousands still without power and homes and businesses destroyed.
But right now, the priority right now is getting power back to people, getting people a safe shelter, getting some return to normal.
And more than 2,500 Florida National Guard members have been called in ahead of the storm. Meanwhile, President Joe Biden authorizing and declaring an emergency, asking FEMA to start coordinating disaster relief. I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Tampa.
And still to come on ABC6 News at noon, Chelsea has a look at your full 7-day forecast.
And now, your ABC6 Storm Tracker weather with meteorologist Chelsea Priest.
We had some rain moving through the area overnight. At this point, you're looking at dry conditions, but overnight we did pick up about 1/4 of an inch, a little over 1/4 of an inch at T.F. Green Airport. What we're looking at outside now is partly cloudy conditions across southern New England, and that will continue through the afternoon. It is a bit breezy outside, but all in all, we are looking at a nice, bright September afternoon. Our temperatures right now are sitting in the upper 60s and low 70s, 69 in Providence, 70 in Smithfield, 67 in Newport, 69 in Westerly. Low 70s for far southeastern Mass. Typically this time of year, we top out around 71 degrees. So we are looking at a seasonable day here in southern New England, ending up maybe a few degrees above average this afternoon. Our sunrise was at 6:37, our sunset at 6:36. So we are closing in on 12 hours of daylight out there. Breeze is coming in out of the southwest, about 5 to 15 miles per hour, a bit higher out towards the Cape and the islands. Some gusts coming in over 20 miles per hour along the coastline. So it is a breezy afternoon across southern New England. But overall, other than the breeze, we're looking at some pretty nice conditions. The dew points hovering around 60 degrees along the coastline. So maybe a tiny touch of a muggy factor out there today. But overall, things are staying very nice for this time of year. Satellite radar image shows you dry conditions right now. We are looking at the rain from overnight that pushed offshore. Maybe you woke up to some thunder outside. There is still a chance of an isolated shower showing up as we head through the later part of the evening hours, well after dark. The rest of the afternoon looks bright, just partly sunny, some passing clouds at times and a bit breezy. We head through the overnight hours. There's the chance of an isolated shower coming through. But overall, the majority of your 7-day is looking very quiet here in southern New England. Any rain shower activity we have is very, very isolated. In fact, the most rain that we get this week likely came late last night. I do want to quickly update you on the tropics. We have Hurricane Ian expected to make landfall over the western portion of Cuba. It's moving towards the northwest at 13 miles per hour, gaining strength, sustained winds over 80 miles per hour, continuing to gain strength, making landfall potentially as a Category 2 or 3 landfall happening right on that western tip of Cuba, gaining more strength once it passes over the western tip of Cuba. Category 4 hurricane as it inches closer to the western edge of Florida. At this point, we're looking at impacts being felt sometime late Wednesday and into Thursday along that western portion of Florida. You can see that cone of uncertainty still encompasses a lot of the state. So where exactly landfall happens is still up in the air right now. It looks north of Tampa as potentially a Category 2 hurricane at landfall, weakening from there. For us here in southern New England, we have the slight chance again of an isolated shower late tonight. This is about 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock. You can see a few very isolated spotty showers. Other than that, partly cloudy. Tomorrow, another day with a mix of sun and clouds, seasonable temperatures with a bit of a breeze. We head through tomorrow night. You end up with partly clear conditions. Into Wednesday, mix of sun and clouds. Again, there may be a spot shower coming into the area, but it's not significant, not something that's going to add up. Again, a lot of this 7-day forecast looks very quiet. We're partly sunny outside today. It is breezy, but seasonable. Temperatures topping out in the low to mid 70s. Besides an evening spot shower, will be partly cloudy overnight with temps in the 50s. And then tomorrow, a day very similar to today. Temps in the low 70s under partly sunny conditions. 7-day forecast shows temperatures in the low to mid 70s outside today and tomorrow. Upper 60s on Wednesday, a mix of sun and clouds on Thursday and Friday, our final couple of days of September. Will be a little bit cooler with full sunshine.
Oh, wow, what a day we are being treated to outside today.
The entire 7-day looks really nice. So
gorgeous.
Not too much to worry about here in southern New England. And if we get any rain, it's just little spotty showers, nothing significant.
Some classic days.
Yeah.
All right, Chelsea, thank you. Well, NASA is preparing to crash into a moon. The space agency is holding its double asteroid redirection test today. NASA is deliberately directing a spacecraft to strike Dimorphos, the moon that orbits around an asteroid. The impact won't demolish Dimorphos, but it is expected to leave a crater. If the mission goes as planned, it'll change the motion of a celestial body in outer space, something that has never happened before. This historic collision is occurring nearly 7 million miles from Earth. Wow. Still to come on the news at noon. How Selma Blair is preparing to deal with the challenges ahead as she fights MS and competes on Dancing with the Stars. Back now with entertainment news. Selma Blair back in the ballroom tonight after her inspirational debut on Dancing with the Stars. Blair now speaking out about how she prepared and the challenges ahead. ABC's Doreen Shaw has the story.
It was a Viennese waltz that brought the whole ballroom to tears.
Selma, you danced like a true artist.
That was so powerful. Thank you.
Selma, you are a perfect example of somebody that doesn't let their illness define you.
It burst my heart open. It just was a whole opening of hope.
Selma Blair and partner Sasha's powerful dance reminding the actress to never stop living.
I've come through so much and I've been really vulnerable and I see how it affects people. And so part of it really was to go, okay, I can build some strength and maybe I can even change some of the remnants of the MS.
Diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2018, Selma's balance played a factor in if she'd be able to ever dance.
I do use a cane often. I do have mobility, but it's not that precise or out and about with things on show days when there's lights and things. You know, I need the balance. Things shift. And so I was just always really scared to do it.
Her body challenged during rehearsals.
I'll freeze as I'm being taught something because I just have no idea, like, where the leg could be in moments of stress, proprioception. But I realized the more I'll get it down and learn and feel the feeling of my foot on the ground, my leg will be finding it.
But Selma relied on Sasha to guide her through.
But I realized that he can choreograph things to help me, you know, to hold me, you know, to make sure that there's a shoulder or a hand.
And it was the moment Selma stepped away from her cane that showed the world what she is capable of.
It just felt so real and right once I could kind of settle into the music and realize, you know, Sasha never let me go yet, you know, and it was just symbolic to let me step out of that comfort zone security into this one and have some fluidity in my movement.
Selma has received an outpouring of support on social media. Others say they have MS too, and maybe they don't have to give up dancing. Selma's hope is that they don't stop moving either, and we will all be moving with her tonight. Selma is doing a jive to Jailhouse Rock for Elvis night. An all-new episode of Dancing with the Stars is on Disney Plus tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Doreen Shaw, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Nothing short of remarkable. Still to come here on the news at noon. The creative honor a British zoo is planning to remember the late Queen Elizabeth. And Chelsea has another look at your afternoon forecast right after this. Well, finally this afternoon, a tribute to the late Queen Elizabeth II. A baby elephant is named the Thai word for queen at the UK's largest zoo in honor of its late patron. The calf is called Nang Paya, which means queen or strong female monarch. Isn't that so nice? And the queen had a lot to do with her mother as well, so there really is a tie in there with the two.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
We love baby animals.
A nice little tribute,
yes,
too.
Very nice. So many coming in. We are looking at a really nice day out there. It's breezy. It's mild for this time of year, low to mid 70s. Tomorrow, a very similar day. Sun and clouds still on Wednesday, a few degrees cooler. Can't rule out a spot shower on Wednesday. For the most part, the 7-day looks dry. And we close out the month on Thursday and Friday with sunshine, cooler temperatures, highs in the mid 60s. Right now, the weekend looks okay with temperatures in the mid to upper 60s.
Yeah, seeing lots of sunnies on that 7-day.
Very quiet 7-day forecast.
All right, Chelsea, thank you. And thank you for joining us for the news at noon. The news continues first and foremost. Have a great day, everybody.